This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
Someone asked me before if the title, you read the title of the speech today, if I'm promoting for people to become selfish. Vacation tips. You go to Shlomi Litzman to tell you where to fly. Yes, we are going to talk about being selfish a bit. To such selfless people.
Is that called like normal Mr. Nice Guy?
No, continue being Mr. Nice Guy, but be nice guy to yourself also. The idea, so many people that are not very clear on the mahalach of Kesher Nafshi and Avi Fishov and all these, they think that they don't want to join the Shabbusim, they don't want to join the trainings because they say it's too difficult. It doesn't make sense to. I hear this constantly throughout the year. People tell me that you're forcing the parents so much and you're putting so much on the parents that have to give away so much of themselves, destroy the family, destroy the kids, everything to save one child. They can't. Some people, it's too difficult for them. So whoever did choose to come for Shabbos, decide to come for Shabbos, or to join any of the classes, it means that you are really, really selfless people. I wish I could make that mic a drop lower, but okay, it's okay. Yeah. Chaim, can you make a bit stiller the mic? Tiny bit. No, but it's stirring me. Oh, this is the previous one's finishing already. Okay, fine. So yes, we are talking to very selfless parents, selfless people. I just came back from Eretz Yisrael right before Shabbos, and we all know we sit on the plane, and they give us the same training every single time, and they have the stewardess standing over there telling us if the plane is going to hit the water or the ocean, you have to, the oxygen mask, what did they say? First put on yourself and then put on to your child. This is the shmis today. Okay, whoever has ADHD, it's too long, you can leave. This is the message. We're done. No, not this. No, Chaim. No, dort ist zieh hoch, nicht das zieh niedrig. Okay, it's good. I think it's nein, the noise in a row. It's good. It's done. Okay. So we're being told the whole Shabbos, and every Shabbos and every training, how to become ausgearbeitet with midas and giving away from ourselves and constantly being on the giving end. And so I figured that at the end of this whole Shabbos, the whole weekend, let's talk about giving to ourselves a bissela. Most of us that go through this parsha, over here it's called a parsha, going through the parsha, we're drained financially. This is something that other people will never understand, people that are not in this parsha. We are drained physically, emotionally. Our marriages are drained, our koich are drained, and definitely our finances. And we think that if I have to start taking care of myself and recharging and refueling my own, it's probably going to cost who knows how much money, and it's just, and not enough time. I can't even leave the house. You don't understand. Coming for this Shabbos, we need to have someone at home, and my other kid should move in, and this should do that. Constantly being on top of everything that's happening there. How could I go away on vacation? How could I do something? So I'm not here to promote vacations. Of course, it's a great thing. Whoever's able to sneak away, even for 12 hours, never underestimate a tiny vacation. We always think that we go on vacation, we have to go for 10 days. From one morning to one evening. If you're able to go overnight, you go to New Jersey, take out a hotel for one night, just space out a whistle, and then come back. Never underestimate the energy and the koiches you're going to pick up from those few hours of just being a whistle, whoever's able to. But it's not only that. Internally, there's an internal vacation that we need to have. Chuvas Hadas is our chuvas to expand our das, our cycle, the way we see and the way we deal with the issues. Obviously, it's very different. Men and women have a different way of dealing with challenges, which is in itself a great thing, because if a husband and wife could discuss it and listen to the other's perspective back and forth, you come to a real clear understanding. As the Chassidus Shesvudim say, there's Chachma and there's Bina, right? Chachma is on the right side of the brain. Now we know that the right hemisphere and the left hemisphere is mamish, like the Chassidus Shesvudim used to tell us hundreds of years ago. the right side, the left side. Chachma is when someone has an idea, oh, you know what, let's do this and that, and the Bina is the other side that kicks and says, who says, how's it going to work? There's more than a lot, how's it going to work out? And then the Chachma says, what do you mean, we'll just do this and that. Chachma is endless, it's like a big, lofty idea, it's coming up with something. Bina is more detailed oriented, the other part of Adah. That's what we daven every day by Shemoneh Esrei, Chachma, Bina, V'das. What is Das? Das is the final conclusion. After Chachma and Bina had a very good conversation, and you thought everything, why you should do it or why you should not do it, or men have much more Chachma, women have much more Bina, and if you're able to discuss it, the Chachma and Bina have a conversation, the final conclusion is called Das. Das is the Avraham Avinu had Midas HaChesed, and he had Gvira. Chesed on the right side is on the Chachma, and Bina is on the Gvira. Being restrained is under the Bina part of the brain. There's the left side and the right side, and the center is always the balanced. The center of Chachma and Bina is Das. The center of Chesed and Gevura is Teferes, it's just beauty, is understanding when to give Chesed and when to give Gevura. But all of these we need to take for ourselves also. What's with us? We need to be balanced for ourselves. On one hand, we are giving away from us again and again, and we're doing, and we're constantly 24/7. This is we work 24/7. There's no loophole. We are many people that were here for Shabbos are telling me that I'm thinking, who knows what's happening at home? And we work 24/7 in our brain. So where is the real chaos in our brain? Where is the real place where we need to go on vacation is in our brain? Das, the balanced part of our brain, is understanding that, we have to give, we have to have chesed, we have to have the right side, and chachma, and expanding and endless, but at the same time we need to know when to stop. If we don't take care of ourselves, we are not going to be here for our kids. We're not going to be able to give them. I shared once this story. I want to share it quickly with you again, a story that happened to my family. My mother is a first cousin. He was being a man from Flatbush. He got married. He fell into a very, very complicated and difficult, very unhealthy personality disorder. Woman, talk about many years ago, we weren't able to articulate names, but now we're looking back, we know exactly she was probably some kind of narcissistic or borderline, whatever it was. And he ended up divorcing. He had 3 children, 3 little ones, 3 pitzalach, and he got divorced, and she told me never going to see the kids, the whole story, and went to court. He used to do jewelry. He had a successful business. He made custom jewelry. He gave up his parnus and everything. He went to court, and he was fighting all his life for years to get to see his kids. It didn't work out. She won. She's a very, very powerful woman. She moved to the 5, I don't know where, to a different place, maybe to Queens. I don't know where she moved to. He never saw his kids. It went through many, many years, and he was tzebrach, and he didn't have panusa, and he didn't have nothing, and he didn't see his children. He was so pained. So he was being alter bucher. So he worked for the OU. The OU in those years, they needed, maybe still today, they need mashgichim and China for months and different places, and they take these. So he was there for many, many years, here and there. He never moved on, never got remarried. He was very tzebrach, and he was extremely, extremely overweight. He was a given up person from Al-Azad. I actually remember by my bar mitzvah, I never saw him. He's my mother's first cousin. I never saw him. In the middle of bar mitzvah, a person walked in, and I said, Tati, who's this guy? I said, I'll tell you after bar mitzvah, this is mommy's cousin. He's divorced for years, whatever. Okay. He worked in the Homo Hotel. Whoever of you remember, there was a Homo Hotel over here in the mountains. He was a mishgiach there. And one day, knock, knock, someone knocks on his door. A young, handsome, Litvish bucher standing by the door, and he says, I'm looking for Mr. So-and-so, for my cousin. He says, what do you mean? That's me. He says, I'm your son. You can imagine there was. And he started schmoozing with him and telling him, he says, Tati, I never saw you, I never nothing. I got engaged, ich bin achusen, Mazel Tov. And my mashgiach, my Rosh Hashiva said, I'm not being your Masada Kedishna until you find out who your father is. I need to know. I did research. I was told all my life that in a nursing home, you're in a chvaizvi, I don't know what he was told. Brainwashed all his life. I never knew I had a normal father. And he shmuzing, and he realized that his father, my cousin, was a zisa, delicious varma, tzebrachen, depressed, zeschossen, but Avadim, a special, nice person, a good-hearted person. And this boy started feeling so pained that he was taken away, deprived from his father all these years. He tells his father, you know, Tati, I'm getting married. You can't come to my wedding. You know my mother is. It's just going to create chaos. But right after my Sheva Bruchas, I'm going to bring you my younger sister and my brother to come visit you under. My mother's not going to know about it. A few weeks later, he comes back. Whatever it was, he comes back. He brings his other two siblings, his sister and his brother, and there was a reunion like never before. They were singing, they were crying, and they were. And then my cousin said, you know, I still have parents in Borough Park, my great uncle. Come, you want to come? And they came to Borough Park, and all the aunts and uncles, the whole family came together. And these three children that were taken away from the family all these years, there was a reunion. The family, these three kids, the other two kids, never, ever went back to the mother, ever. From that night, they stayed there. They couldn't. You can imagine the excitement. I remember my mother telling me the story, and she says that the cousins came. And 2 months later, punchline of the story. 2 months later, my cousin had a heart attack and he died. His kids came back to him too late. He was already broken. He was already suffering from, I don't know what, heart condition. I don't know what he had. It's an extreme story. True story, an extreme story, extreme example. But I figured this is sometimes you have to say a mushal, an example to bring out. Our children, when they're going to come back to their own brain, they need us to be healthy, vibrant parents. They need to belong to a happy geschmack and mishpucha. I know it's easy to say and hard to do, but this is the goal. This is the idea. If you see that you're coming to a breaking point, even if at the moment it feels like you're not going to be with your kid at the moment and they need you and you're not going to be with the other kids, escape. Physically or mentally or something, or reach out to a therapist and talk to someone, give out your pain, whatever you need to do. Because our children, when they're going to come back, they're going to need very healthy, emotionally and physically healthy people, parents, a happy home. Some of you look at me like, what are you saying? Well, you know what's going on in my house now. How can I be happy? What are you saying? I'm allowed to say this. I'm a parent of a kid. I'm a parent of stepkids. I'm a parent of many different. Shem put me through my own nisyonis in many different ways. I have a right to talk. I'm not the same. Everybody has their own parsha. But if we don't take care of ourselves, we are not taking care of our children. Many times in marriage or in second marriage, and people come to me for shalom bayis, and I draw 3 circles on a paper. Outer circle, an inner circle, and another inner circle. And I say, the most inner circle is the most important. The second is important. The third one. There's you, your spouse, and your child. Who do you put in the middle circle? Yourself. Who do you put in the middle circle? Huh? Come on, we're talking to Kesher Nafshi parents. You guys breaking the records. If I would ask this question in any other place other than here, they would all say, your child is in the middle. And I think most of you said yourself is in the middle. Because if I don't take care of myself, then there's nobody else to me, there's nobody else that I could take care of. This is in Rachnis and Gashmis and physically and emotionally. If I am hungry and nervous, my kids are all suffering. Sometimes you should give your children to eat before you sell. But if you realize that you're going to be tipsy and nervous, eat something and then give them. Give them a tashmeichel. We all are so selfless when it comes to our children, and we forget about ourselves. We forget about our marriage. And who do we put the second line? A spouse or ourselves or our children? Spouse. But why? It's true, Emes. So the most important person in your life for you to take care of, physically and emotionally, is yourself, and the second to the most important person is your spouse, and the third is your child. The children are going to be listening to this recording. What are they going to say? They went to Kesher Nafshi. Our parents are dealing toward the opposite. Well, this is contradicting everything else that we spoke about the whole Shabbos. Selfless, giving to the kids. But if you are not you, what are you giving? Who is giving to the kids? That's why this shmiz is important after the whole weekend. This is something that we need to chap. Of course, with selfless people. I taking care of myself, being selfless, giving to the other. But if it's not me, my kids are not getting anything. If you're not taking care of yourself, your spouse is suffering. If you and your spouse are nourished, you go on a date once a week. On a date once a week, where you close your phone, not on vibrate, close it, and that hour you go out and you talk not about the problems that you need to discuss, that you do anyway a few times a week. Just to chill, to recharge your batteries, to refuel your energy, and to refuel and to reconnect with your spouse and to have a real united front, to deal with that kip, to be selfless with that kip. Who are you? You're not giving anything. So who benefits the most from that chart? The child. Our children benefit the most when we are taking care of ourselves and when we're taking care of our spouse. That's being selfless. So what are we promoting over here? Selfless, selfish, it's not complicated. Yes. Exactly. Like this, if you lose consciousness, you're not going to be able to help your child. Your child's going to be, it's true. So this is the idea. That sometimes we need to look at ourselves and say, where am I up to? Do I still have koyach? I need to refuel. Even if it's at the cost sometimes of a week investing in your kip or in your other kids or in yourself, you need to have your own hachuvas hadas. How do you say pain in Lashon Kodesh? Tsar. What is the real touch of tsar? Narrow. Eng. What's the opposite? Harchuva. What's the opposite of pain? Not pleasure. Pain is when you're locked in, you're bitsar, you're squeezed, there's nothing left to you, you're like a sponge, you squeeze out, so there's no juice left. Harchuva, when the sponge opens up and absorbs again. More chiyas. What do we say by benching? You should make us, expand us, and give us a little more freedom and a little more breitkeit. Mikol tzuras eini, from all of our tzaras, from all of our narrowness and squeezeness and tzekvetchkeit. Because harchuva, the biggest bruch you can give someone, should have a chuvas hadas. Sometimes a chuvas hadas means that you wake up in the morning and you meditate. The goyim think that they discovered something new. You meditate and you wake up in the morning, you should, or zen, or chvaish, different things. We meditate every morning. We go to daven, we meditate a few minutes. Some people meditate when they learn, they daven. Some women meditate when they're making breakfast for their kids. There's so many ways to meditate, to connect, and to go introspective and say, what is my mission today? What am I doing? Where am I up to? Did I have enough sleep tonight? I need to take care of myself. Take some vitamins. Do some exercise. Do something. Make sure that if you have a chuvah, that's when you're able to start giving and helping your child from that tsar, the real tsar. Kip means tzur, tsar. Narrow-minded, narrow feelings, narrow everything. That's a kvetch. They're b'tzar. A b'tzar person cannot take out another b'tzar person. Someone that's in prison cannot take himself out of prison, and definitely not someone else that's in prison. Someone that's free is able to take out someone that's in prison. So yes, we should be selfless and try to give, and we want to be selfless. We're parents that our children would never understand what we're willing and able to do for them. Endless. But this is only after being a little bit practical and understanding that we need to also be nourished. We need to have koyach. If you're a chovish, you're not going to be matir from Beis Hasidim. I think, on a practical level, we need to try when you go home. We're all going home soon, and after beautiful Shabbos and speeches and everything, we're all going home to face the music again. But try to sneak out a few moments and sit down tonight, if you have a few moments, and make yourself a schedule, like a chart, literally like a chart. You can do it on your phone or on a paper. When are we going on a date? When are being those selfish moments? This is so not selfish, but let's call it selfish moments in order to refuel and to have koyach to deal with our kip. If you forget about it, you just go on with life. It's not going to happen. And tomorrow morning, you're going to forget you were in Shabbos Kesher Nafshi. We have to actually practically put it into our calendar to remind me 5 minutes a day, every 1 o'clock. Go out with your friends for a coffee. Everybody in the road, it's so hard for me to give ideas because it's the small things. Sometimes we think we have to do something major. A kleine Zach could do so much. A few minutes. Reach out. Go, whatever you could do. If you could join a gym, physical exercise is emotional exercise. And this is across the board. Everybody agrees on that one. And I know we all have a New Year's resolutions. Every year we're going to join the gym. And we have on our keychains the gym thing. We're there for 2 months. Every month is still taking out money on the credit card. I say, yeah, no, tomorrow. It's snowing outside, but tomorrow we're going to go. You want to do for your kids a favor? You want to give to your children endless koiches and love and ahava? Join the gym. Run on the treadmill a few minutes. Physical exercise brings up adrenaline and dopamine and all the happy hormones, and it gives us koyach to come home like a soldat. Soldiers exercise to go out. We are all soldat and we are all soldiers. We are all Hashem's army. And if we're not going to do that, today, sign up today. I'm promoting a gym. I'm kidding. It's a promotion. Sign up today. Some people should never go with a chavrisa with a friend to a gym, because one day he's not going or she's not going, it's not going to happen. And some people need to have a chavrisa. If not, you're never going to do it. You need to know yourself. But whatever works for you, get to know yourself and make sure that my next Shabbos Kesher Nafshi, you're going to come and tell me, I was every single week, twice a week in the gym. You're doing it for Nishmatim and Nafsh Seichim, you're doing it for everything, but you're doing it for your children. If you don't take care of yourself physically and emotionally, it's not possible for you to be the great parent you want to be. A person to be a Oved Hashem, even for ourselves, between us and Hashem. Choyle is puta from the mitzvahs. If someone is choyle, someone is not physically well, they don't have to, what are you going to do? A healthy person, physically and mentally and emotionally person, is able to be a Oved Hashem, is able to do the shlichus, is able to do things. You meet up another person for the first time, or someone that you know, and you say, Shalom Aleichem, who are you, from where you're coming from. You start schmoozing with someone, getting to know the other person. So within a few minutes, you know, if you're talking, you see on the person, you see, I'm talking to a 30-year-old, a 50-year-old, a man, a woman, even on the voice on the phone call, right? You talk on the phone, you could always say, you're talking to a male, you're talking to a female, you're talking more or less the age. If someone is not feeling well, you talk on the phone, you have a cold, or you're not, right away, everything. So we know right away the state of the physical of another person. You meet to someone, you know more or less their age. Of course, it's a huge compliment to say, you look so much younger. It's I thought you're 50 or 60. Amazing. Well, fine. We're all humans. Okay, let's take it. But more or less, we know the age of a person when we meet them. But as we get to know a person even more, we get to see if mentally they're also the same age as their body. And then you see, I'm talking to a 30-year-old person, but their brain, I'm talking to a 15-year-old bucher. Sometimes So there's the physical, there's the mental, and then there's the emotional. Sometimes you see a person that is physically 30, 40, mentally 30, 40, maybe even more. Their mental age is even older, they're more miyushiv, they're smarter, they're more experienced. But then when you get to know a person deeper, you get to know where their emotional age is. And so many of us, so many people around us, their emotional age is way not in par, not in line with their physical age, with their mental age. Our children, they say, what do you mean I'm 20, you're going to tell me what to do? They always talk about their age. I could drive already, I'm 16 in 2 weeks. People Bukhrim that I deal with, it's amazing. They know exactly. 16 and 2 weeks. And my father doesn't, you have to go along with your child to make the license or the permit. Permit. So we're trying to help our children, and they say, like, he's not giving me a license, I want to be able to drive. And what are you thinking? Mentally, this kid is 11, 5, 9. Yeah, he's 16, you're 20. I always say, I wish in the Mazdis it would work by stage, not by age. As a kid, the Gimel Yingel, this is a 7th grader, 12th grader. I'm serious. I really believe that it can be. It should be, every grade should be according to where the child is up to. This is a Mishnayos class. You're done with Mishnayos, a Gemara class. You can't do it. You can't have a 15-year-old bucher and together with 9-year-old kids, but 3 years up, 3 years down. If we go by stage, I think. Why am I saying it? Maybe one of you will have a hashpur one day on one of the mitzvahs, but I really think that should be. But at home, for sure, we should be dealing that way. Sometimes we have to play to our teens, and we have to tell them that we're treating them like you're an adult, you're a mature adult. But deep inside us, we know that this kid is emotionally or mentally in a much younger age. We need to know how to walk on eggshells, I don't know, like to step between the lines and say, like, yeah, I trust you, but I think it's, I want to do it for you, I want to help you, because they are not in a place where they're able to. But this is the point. Many of us are 40 years old. We are mentally 40 or maybe more, and emotionally 40 until we get in pain. When we are in pain, or when we're angry, or when a person is jealous, was the Mishnayos? Metzina Sudam in Oilam. Hakina Vatava Vakovid. Hakina Vatava Metzina Sudam in Oilam. If you have jealousy, if you have any type of emotional stress in you, you're Metzina Sudam in Oilam, you're not your age. That's why it's so important to have a mentor. And when it comes to discussing our own child, I could be helping so many people and come discussing with that. My kip I discuss with someone else. Always. I have to make a major decision about my child. This way or that way, I have someone that I call and I discuss with. I cannot be there because in this matter, I am emotionally not my age now. I am mentally not my age. It's not me now. I have negiyas. That's what it's like. There are certain moments. We are all mature adults, and hopefully we're all our mental age and physical age and emotional age is on par, and it's always good. But that's until there is a problem. Aina patrapas laroyas. Constantly, you see this in the Torah, you see this in Haluchas, that we need to know when we could trust ourselves, when we are in a good place, in a good state of mind. Yes, I am who I am. I'm my age. I could trust myself. But when it comes to something that's going to have to do with tavas or something that has to do with anegas, or any type of thing that takes you out of your, then you need from outside. Every person in this room, I'm talking to tzaddikim, mamish. It's such selfless people, and we're sitting by a shir talking about being selfish a bissel. But we cannot trust ourselves to say that I am okay, I don't need vacation, I don't need to take care of myself, I need to be here for my child. You need to have someone outside of you to tell you, tzaddik, tzaddikis, you guys need to space out for 3 days. You guys need to step out of the situation to be able to come back and help your child again. You're losing your own judgment. We're drunk of love to our kids. We can't trust ourselves at the moment. And we say, no, I could do this. 5 years later, you're shriveled, you're gone. To be the strong, healthy parents, to take care of our kids, sometimes we need someone outside of us to tell us, Haib de Chof, nem kefen sich allein so bissel. That's what I told the Gedali Miller that I thanked him for making Kesher Nafshi in Yitzhak, and then he made Kesher Nafshi in Meshbish. There's a rumor, I don't want to say, but it might be in a different place, the next Kesher Nafshi. He's giving us a treat, and you should all join just for... Otherwise, you would never go on vacation. You would never leave town. You would never put yourself on a plane because we're so stuck, as I said before, financially and emotionally. We're here to save our kids. We become shikr from ahava to our kids that we forget to take care of ourselves. And then ultimately, our children are not going to have healthy, happy parents to take care of them. So our children will be losing out. If we could have a mentor and tell the mentor, tell me when I need to back off. Tell me when I need my own space. Tell me when I need to go. Tell me when I need the vacation. And you listen to that person. How much money did most of us borrow and put together for these kids? These children are costing us, people outside of this room, people that are not in Kesher Nafshi on this parsha, don't understand. You have people that were so financially stable, and the kid comes into their life and everything is chaos. People telling me here through this Shabbos and many other Shabbosim that I joined, paying a rehab here and a rehab there, and it's Mandach Hashemai. It's being recorded, this video, and people that see it, anybody that's in a position that's able to help other Yidden, please reach out to the Kesher Nafshi parents. If you know someone that has a teen, a child that's a kip, you never know how much financial help all of us need, most of us. If we want to be givers, if we want to take care of our children, that could only be if we are taking care of ourselves, if we are healthy and we're able to give them all the koiches. I want to read to you a quote. I'm sorry, it's on my cell phone. Some people don't go for it, but I want to read to you a quote. I just don't want to misquote it, and I'm going to conclude with this message. Switch from the words breaking my heart to breaking my expectations. If you have an expectation how a child needs to turn out to be, you have an expectation how a husband is supposed to look like. If you have an I didn't say, hey Google. Hey Siri. If you have the biggest sad pain that a person has in this world is coming from our expectations. People always ask me, is it normal? Is it normal means, is this expected by the community? Is this a healthy expectation? Is this the way should this be this way? There's no such thing. Is it normal? There's no normal. There's no normal and not normal. Nothing. Your normal. I tell people this is your normal. This is the way your Shabbos table has to look like. Is it normal that, yes, in your house, this is normal. For now, this is what Hashem wants your house to look like. It's normal. This is the normal. I don't care what the neighbor thinks. We have an expectation how our Shabbos table has to look like. We have an expectation how we want things to be. And if it doesn't pan out that way, that's where all the pain comes from. So I'm going to read it to you again. Switch from breaking my heart, giving me pain, causing me pain, to breaking my expectations. Nobody broke your heart. Your child never came into your life and thinking every single night, how in the world am I going to break my parents' heart? How am I going to make them into tzad and give them all the tzudas in the world? I can't wait. You had an expectation that this kid is going to grow up to be the Maram Shik. It's going to be Surah Shanira for the next generation. mentioned Surah Shnira. Surah Shnira was a Chassidish Maidala from a Belza family. The Litvische Beis Yaakovs. She opened up, it was a new thing, a new concept, a Machta Meidel school. The opposition of the local, some Rabbunim, some advocates in the community, there was you can't imagine what was going on. You're breaking Mesorah. Of course, her father went to a few tzaddikim, I don't remember all the details, and a few different Rebbe said, we have to start having schools for girls, it's a new world out there, and otherwise they're going to fall to Haskula and to other stuff, and there's no... People were throwing stones at the first gathering for the... I don't remember who it was, one of the tzaddikim, one of the Rebbes that were there, and he took one of the stones that were there, and he said, this stone is going to be... I think she herself said it, Shnira said, this stone is going to be put into the Even Apinna, Tanuch's Even Apinna, for the next Beis Yaakov. In other words, when we have a challenge in life, turn it into an opportunity. Turn it into, it's not... This was the idea, and this is exactly what's happening with Kesher Nafshi. Many of us, if not most of us, have brothers, sisters, parents-in-law, mother-in-laws, parents, and telling us you're doing the wrong thing, you're ruining the whole family, and then you have neighbors calling you up and saying the whole block, and there's meetings behind your back. You heard that neighbor? They took in a dog to the house. You saw how that girl walks out in the street? Did you see that? And they come to you and they say, you don't know what you're doing, you have to stop. And that's a stone that was thrown at you. You become the next Surah Shnira. They should never be tested, Chaz v'shulam, but this is avoided because we're the beginners. We're in a whole new revolution. Unfortunately, there's thousands more people that should have been here for Shabbos. Thousands of more people should have been. And we all have friends. I had so many people that I tried convincing to come to here or to the trainings, or they're embarrassed or ambitious, or they're not ready. They're not ready. Maybe Taka, some people not ready. They didn't take care of themselves enough to become totally selfless and to be able to give. Maybe Taka, they should nourish themselves a little more before they come here. Maybe. I'm not judging anybody. Chaz v'shulam. It's very hard to be a Kesher Nafshi parent. It's very hard to being told, keep a home-ed kid, while you're being bashed and pained by your neighbors and by your parents and the shvigan saying that I'm not talking to you again, you can't come to our Hanukkah parties because you're going to bring along your kipp, you can't join this. We all know the stories, I don't have to. But eventually, we are all the Surah Shniras of the next generation. I mean, until Mashiach comes, Allah Shem Kimen. But until that very day, we are the ones that are going out with a torch. We're going home. And as I said before, we're going to face the music again, and we're going to, after all the nice drushes and everything, we're still going to we're going back to exactly where we were Erev Shabbos. But we're coming back with a torch. And we're going to be a light upon our nation. And we're going to say, yes, I am doing selfless love for my child. I heard a lot of speeches. I'm going to hear more. I'm going to educate myself more. And this is the right thing to do, and I'm here for my child. And I want to say, the Baal Shem Tov said, Hashem tzilcha steht in Tehillim. Hashem is our shadow. Right? When the light shines, you have a shadow. Whatever you do, your shadow does. Exactly. Whatever you do in this world, Hashem does back to you. You don't judge anybody, Hashem will not judge you. You don't like schus someone, Hashem is going to be don't like schus you. In every chassid shayfa, hundreds of times this is mentioned. We are all kips. Let me speak for myself. I'm a kip also. There's part of me that's a kip. There's part of me that's, I said before, the chassid shasurim say Paisach, echad chachem, echad rusha, echad shayni dayalishal, echad tam. What is echad? The chassid shasurim say echad, in the one person. There's part of us that's a chochem, that's a tzaddik. We want to do what's right, and we're totally connected to Hashem at Dvaikus in the highest level. And then there's a part of us that's quite cynical. That's not always ready to do everything for Hashem. We do have some points that we're a little selfish, a little jealous, everybody has their midas that they have to deal with. And then we have a part of us that's a tom and a shayda elishal. So that part that's in us, that's a kip. Hashem sees the way we treat our kips. He's going to treat us. Hashem tzilcha. You're giving endless love. The child deserves it? No. We give endless to our kids and we go out of our way. We do everything we can for their life. We destroyed our homes. We destroyed everything. We gave up our dreams, our expectations to save a Yiddish neshama, to ease the pain of a Yiddish neshama. Then we could come unto Hashem and say, Rabbeinu Shalom, I'm taking care of your kip. Take care of me. I deserve, I don't deserve. Look what I'm doing. I'm sorry, I said I'm going to finish it right, but I want to finish with one more line.
Keep going.
I don't know what the schedule is. I don't know what's... something else next? At what time is the next... 5 o'clock. We did not come for Shabbos to bring back our children to Yiddishkeit. Don't shoot me till I finish my... We came for Shabbos to be trained and to get chizik on how to help our children in pain, how to ease their pain a little bit. This is why we came. We came to figure out and to understand the amount of pain that's in each and every one of our children. And to ease their pain, to make our chuvah a little bit in the tsar. By giving ourselves our chuvah, taking care of ourselves, as we said before, filling ourselves up with knowledge, and filling ourselves up with koiches. And to ease their pain. That's why we're here for Shabbos. We didn't come here to learn how to bring back. So how are you going to bring back your kids to Yiddishkeit? You were there for Shabbos, I shine. They were there 2 months ago. Their son is still walking around without payers. When we see our child taking off the yarmulke, if that's the moment we realize there's an issue, when they dropped Yiddishkeit, we are way too late. Yiddishkeit is the last thing they drop. They were in pain many years before. I was talking to a kip this week. He told me when I was 10 years old, a boy writing diaries, interesting, but he told me I wrote diaries. It's a very girlish thing to do usually. He said, I wrote such pain that I had on my parents. He never told them. They didn't know what's cooking in him. There was a situation, greatest parents, amazing people, I know them. All of us do everything right and still, it's so hard to know. But when he took off his yarmulke and when he started going with girlfriends and with the ganze Sache, and his parents came running and sending him to therapy. I don't blame the parents. We're not in the VM. We can't identify, we can't detect early enough sometimes. Maybe all of us should be advocates and telling people around us, this child didn't look so happy yesterday at the Chanukah party. Make sure that the child is okay. Serious. But we're humans. The child drops Yiddishkeit is the last piece of their pain. That's the last thing. And guess what? It's going to be the last thing to come back. I'm doing all kinds of things to get my son to put on film for 5 minutes a day, and I'm giving him $1,000 a month, and I'll bribe them, and I'm getting... Great, amazing, but this is not the point. You want to bring back Yiddishkeit before healing him? This kid went to Chayda, went to school, he grew up in our homes. He knows what he's supposed to do. He knows what a Yid is supposed to do. He knows what's right. He's not like an old-fashioned apokoyres from 500 years ago that went to Chakiris, that there is no Elokim. Even evolution is refuted today. Like what? Agnostics, what? It's all pain. We are not trying to bring back our children to Yiddishkeit. We are easing their pain. We're helping them heal. Their Yiddishkeit is going to come flying back in a moment. The second it clicks in their feelings, whatever it is, they needed more love, they needed more acceptance, they needed their parents to trust them, they needed to see justice on someone that betrayed them. Whatever happens, But one moment comes and suddenly they're back. They're just here. Yeah, most of them don't come back with longer pies, but fine. But they suddenly get connected to Hashem again. You never know when that click is going to happen. Hopefully very soon to all of our children. But do we know? And if you don't try to bring back the children to Yiddishkeit, they're going to get even faster closer to Yiddishkeit. Because they feel and they sense when you're nice to them, yeah, my parents are nice to me because they want me to become Shem Shabbos again. It's the worst thing you want them to feel. They feel the emes. Our kids are such sensitive neshamalach. You can tell them whatever you want. They know the truth. So really tell yourself, and this is the emes. Our job is not to force people to become from Hashem. Our job is to ease the pain. If someone is in tzar, put them in a mitzvah. It's a chayla mamish. We are not bringing them back to Yiddishkeit. We're bringing them back to health, to be successful in their life. I always tell these boys, I just want to help you with the gosh. I want to help you find a job. I don't want you to fall into drugs and to other shtaisim. And I don't mention a word about Yiddishkeit. And suddenly when they're stable and they find a job, they have no issue davening. I mean, some of them, obviously, there's all kinds, different levels. Every situation is different. So if we fill ourselves up with enough ammunition, with enough tools, physically and emotionally, as we said before, to be able, filling ourselves up with knowledge and understanding, as we had the whole Shabbos, of what is our mission, what's our goal, that's the moment when the Eibishter self-healing is going to start coming in. And the children are going to feel my parents are not here to bring me back to Yiddishkeit. And they're not here. You know what the next thing is? For their embarrassment, nothing. Some kids, many of our kids feel that, yeah, my parents are embarrassed from the neighbors. That's why I'm walking around. Never mention embarrassment to Bisha, even if they know that we're still human and we still have those feelings. But Hashem should help that all of us should have the koyach, and we should have the cycle to fill ourselves up, as we said before, and physically and mentally and emotionally, and in your marriage, and whatever you can to fill yourself up with all the koyachas. Be extremely selfish in that way, to be able to be so selfless when it comes to giving to our kids, and give them everything you can that they should be able to crawl out of their tsar. Yeah.
With all your opportunities that you have, how do you stay so content? What do you do to keep yourself?
With all the challenges, with all the opportunities.
You call them opportunities. I'm calling them opportunities.
So once it's called opportunities, then it's not a question anymore.
Do you really believe yourself? How do you stay so happy?
You talk me personally? Oh, me personally.
He goes to the gym.
Show you my membership. You want to know personally? Whoever wants could leave. The share is over, but I'll share with you. I've been through a lot of challenges in my life, as I've shared in previous times. I've shared everything, but I'm not going to share everything now, just we don't have time. I learned something that worked for me. I know what works for other people. We have a logical conscious, a subconscious. Our subconscious is a little child. When we have a daga, a worry about something, it constantly comes up on us again, the whole day. Again. But what am I going to do? My son is not engaged yet. Or someone that's looking for a shidduch. Constantly living in it. Life has so much more to offer. There's so many more details in life. There's so many more folders. The folder that you're worried about is on your table all day, in your face. In your folder over here, constantly. But what are we going to do? We have 10 folders. Nowadays, everybody has multiple. There's no family that doesn't have multiple issues to deal with. You might say, Mashiach, I don't know what it is, but used to be here, there. All of us have many challenges to deal with. And those few challenges, the folder is open right in front of our face the whole day. Why? Because we believe by having it in our mind the whole time, we're going to come up with a solution somewhere, somehow, and then we're going to walk out with weapons. But what happens really? We don't become smarter. We become weaker. We become tzebrachen. And all the other kids, all the other folders, all the other people in our life are suffering, and nothing is happening, and the house is depressed and tzebrachen, and you're not successful in business, you're not successful with nothing, because those few daggers are in your face the whole time. So I learned, it works for me. I put away once a week, sometimes twice a week because I have too much to do with. Once a week, consistently, a specific time and a specific day where I sit down by hook or by crook, even if I'm not in the mood at the moment to deal with it, and I deal with those few things that I need to deal with. After doing that a few weeks, your subconscious, the little child in you, is going to trust you. It comes up with what's going to be with the mortgage payment, what's going to be with that kid, what's going to be. It goes away on the side and says, you know what? Don't worry. Tati, Mommy, the adult in me, is going to deal with it Wednesday, 8 o'clock. If you really do it a few weeks in a row, a specific time dealing with your issues, your inner worries, your subconscious will start trusting you that you are going to deal with it. It's not going to roid of you again. I'm sitting in shul, right? We sit in shul, the men know this. You women think that we daven 6 hours, we shmooze after davening. What do you think? You got the secret. So after davening, I'm shloshmis, and this and that, shemalaycha, like 15 minutes, 20 minutes, a half an hour sometimes. And I have my little kid, Tati, guy. I want to go home. I'm sitting like it's, and I said, 5 minutes, 5 minutes. Like, we'll not finish the conversation, right? We all, come on. Schlaf ik back at you. If you tell your child, you see, there's a clock, and when the stecken guy's on grut, or whatever, we're going home. Your child looks at that watch, are you schmoozing? It's you actually leave the shul in the middle of your heated, most important conversation, which President Trump needs to discuss with you, the mama's the wichtigste politics, and you drop everything, you leave because you promised your son that 12 o'clock you are walking home. 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, your child would never nag you again. You say, in 5 minutes, he knows in 5 minutes. This is the way we need to treat our child, I'm showing you here, it's not really here, but our subconscious. If you train your subconscious that you are taking charge from a specific time and a specific moment or by a specific person that we're going to deal with this, and you follow through a few times, it's going to start trusting you. You're going to live menicha. And this is my secret. I have once a week where I cry like a baby. I said it on camera. Yes, I do. Not every week, but whenever it comes up, give it out. Thank you. Having a man that's divorced for a couple of years and this and that, he said, I said, once a week, an hour a week, you are sitting on the sit down, even if you don't know what you're going to do. This is shidduch hour. This hour, you're taking out your pad, your book, and you call back this shatchen, that shatchen. A half a year ago, they said this name. After the hour is up, you close it. Done. By every single moment of every single day thinking about shaddichim, you're going to become engaged better. You're ruining everything else in your life. I told this thing a man, he said it changed his life. And actually things started getting done. Because at that time, I still have 45 minutes to go. What am I doing? I don't have a choice. Shidduch hour. He calls up another shatchen. I know I called you already. This, maybe, what happened with that name, with this name? It's not always feasible, and I know it's not always, it's very nice. It sounds like sometimes you need to try to get into this place. It's easy for men a little bit, this mahalach, than for women, a little bit. Because women, everything is connected. It's a little hard. It's a minimal backseat for some reason. But even for women, it works. In a certain sense, if you know, it's just like you're going to therapy. Make sure you go to therapy the same day of the week, the same time. It's really effective. You have whatever it is that's haunting you, your fears, your worries, your problems. You know that your system knows Wednesday, 8 o'clock is going to be the time it lets you live. Suddenly you're going to find yourself being happy, being in the kitchen and singing and putting on a little music in your house and machen the hoses on a bissel besimche. How could be besimche? You're dealing with a diagnosis, you're dealing with it. If we train our subconscious, it's going to let us do it. It's going to let us chill. New word, come on, chill. It's going to let us chill or chillax. Relax, chillax. I'm learning different phrases slowly. But if you don't do this, it's constantly running after, haunting you. And this is something that worked for me. I really hope that by sharing so personal, if it's going to help even one person in the room, have a bissel mehr menich in their life than it paid for me. So it's going to be Thank you.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.